everyone, and welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs go all in on their business, and we introduce them to professionals that can help them to do so. Today, we have a very special guest. Raj, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Hardik. Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Please introduce yourself and the name of your business.
Hello, folks. My name is Raj Bharti. I'm located in Seattle, and I lead Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, a leading recruitment firm in the nation with 200 locations all across the U.S.
Awesome. We so look forward to learning more about your business, but before that, we want to learn a little bit more about yourself, and we understand that time is one of our most valuable resources. So tell us about your journey, Raj.
My journey, I started around 30 years ago into the computer science, worked as a programmer, developer, moved into the project management skills. I've lived on the East Coast for 10 years, working for financial companies, Citibank, Solomon Smith Barney, management consulting firms. And my family lives up in Vancouver, BC here in Canada, which is 3 hours north of here. And my parents were always questioning what the hell you're doing in New York City. And in my 20s, I had my own dreams. And one fine day, I listened to my parents. I didn't move back to Vancouver, BC, but I moved to Seattle and started a career with Microsoft. I spent over a decade at Microsoft managing different types of products, marketing, channel programs all across Middle East. After that, managed a delivery service business with Amazon. Amazon has those blue-gray vans delivering your package. That business is outsourced, and those partners are called DSPs, or delivery service partners. I did that for 4 years, and after that, my newest venture is Spherion Staffing and Recruiting right here in Seattle.
Awesome. Now, it sounds like you were working with some larger companies when you first started your career. What made you choose to go into those larger businesses instead of starting at the entrepreneurial level from the beginning?
Yeah, that's more on the career side. Like I learned a lot from these larger businesses on the East Coast, say Citibank or so, project management, and a lot of opportunities at Microsoft. And after my Microsoft journey, spending 10 years there, I joined a consulting firm. And I was there for 6 months, and something was bothering me. And I figured out, there's a gut, telling you that, hey, this is not the right direction. I know I'm making a lot of money. I know I'm making an impact, but I didn't see it as a long-term opportunity. And one fine day, I realized, hey, I'm not heading in the right direction. And I just submitted my resignation, and I gave them a couple of weeks to further ramp off. And without any job, I quit my 6-figure job. And what do you do when you don't have any income coming in?
Right.
I'm also a yoga guy.
Okay.
And I took a flight, Alaska airline flight, down to Sacramento. There's a beautiful area in Sacramento called Grass Valley. And I go to an ashram, yoga ashram. Went there for a 4 to 5 day of yoga retreat. And before I even reached there, I came across this Alaska's booklet, an advertisement for a delivery service partner business from Amazon. And this is 2019. And I had heard about this business in 2018. Living in Seattle, your Boeing, Starbucks, Amazons, and Microsofts. And somehow I never pursued that. And this time, the timing was right because I was unemployed on that day.
Yes.
Freshly unemployed.
Yes.
And I said, you know what, I need to look into this business. I opened up my laptop, started researching, and for next 4 to 5 days while at my yoga ashram, I researched the whole business. I said, I'm convinced.
Yes.
And came home, submitted my application. Within a month or two, I was in, and by October 2019, I had a business in Seattle.
Okay. Now, I know you said your parents were freaking out with you moving to New York. What did they say when you told them that you were about to leave your high-paying job? Or did you tell them? Oh, you didn't say
Actually,
it?
I don't consult my parents, Roderick.
I got you.
I'm a black sheep of the family.
Okay.
If I take advice from my parents, they'll give me like a path, secure path. Hey, why are you doing these crazy things? And as an entrepreneur, you got to trust your gut. You got to take risks. And I'm really inspired by Jeff Bezos' quote that, he has this framework called regret minimization framework. And when you die, you want to die with the minimum possible regrets in life.
Okay.
And my way of living is I want to do more. I want to try things in my life, Maybe financially I may not be successful, or traditional definition I may not be successful in different elements, but I can be successful in my at my own measure. So I don't consult my parents. I just tell them after.
I got you. Makes a lot of sense.
I apologize after.
Yeah, I got you. It makes a lot because I talk with my own when I'm making big decisions that way. And I knew when I told them I was going to do a couple things, they were like, "What are you
Uh-huh.
doing?" And then I think I kind of moved into your mode where I said, "Well, this is what I'm doing from there." Now, as we're going through your journey, I do want to talk a little bit more about the delivery business. Now, tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about some of the successes and the ups and downs that you had with that business before we talk about your current business.
Delivery business was an amazing business. I learned a lot from it, and I grew as a professional quite a bit. But going into delivery business, think about like a corporate guy with over 20 years of experience jumping into delivering packages, dealing with drivers. So in my prior career, I always worked with white collar workers, people who had at least one degree. Sometimes they had undergrad, master's, PhD, and whatnot. And now I'm dealing with drivers. It's a totally different ball game. If for our meeting, if I show up to the meeting 5 minutes late, I'll apologize. If a driver showed up an hour late and you are thankful that at least he showed up. And
Mm-hmm,
so it's a
mm-hmm,
different type of culture.
mm-hmm.
And it was actually really shocking for me when I kind of came to this business. It's not just the people management, different type of workforce management. On the top, it's vans or the fleet management piece that comes with it. With the fleet management, the biggest headache is your accidents, your incidents every single day. And to a point that I wanted to quit the business within 3 months.
Okay.
And I called one of my mentors, and she told me, she said, "Hey, you have already spent 3 months. You have already quit your job, and why don't you give another 9 months and try it for a year? And if it doesn't fit, go back. The job will be waiting for you. You don't have much to lose." I said, "Okay, I'm going to try it for a year." And I started the business in October. I wanted to quit in December or so because that season is the peak season. Peak season is crazy. Basically, you're working 24/7 and start at 6 o'clock, and your work ends at 9 o'clock, and you show up again,
Mm-hmm,
repeat and rinse,
mm-hmm.
and or rinse and repeat. And I said, okay, I'll commit. And what happens within I made a commitment for a year. By March 2020, COVID happened. COVID changed the definition of that business for me. And now it wasn't about dollars and cents. It wasn't about hard work, because the love and support we received from the community, it was unbelievable. My drivers will bring Starbucks gift cards, thank you notes, and people with the flyers and posting all around photos with the drivers. I said, I'm serving the community. When all the brick and mortar stores are closed, we are delivering all the essentials within the area.
Yeah.
And that became very valuable to me, and my commitment raised. And during COVID days, when my former Microsoft friends were working remotely and getting their six-pay figure, uh, I was working on site. I was showing up every single day. I worked over almost 7 days a week. And because when you're supporting a fleet and people, if you leader is not there, why would workers be inspired?
Yes.
And the COVID made my commitment, and then we continued the business, and it lasted for 4 years. And during 4 years, I managed around 100 employees, 50 Amazon vans, and delivered around 5 million packages in the greater Seattle area. And quite proud of those accomplishments.
Yes, those are some great accomplishments to have, especially during that time of uncertainty of COVID, because that is something that really hasn't happened in our time frame before. And it sounds like you managed it pretty well. So you were saying this business began to get ready to come to an end, and I can tell you're youthful, spry, and ready to go. And I know you weren't ready to end your working career yet. Was there an event that happened that made you say, you know what? I'm going to burn the ship and go all into this talent, the human talent industry. Was it something that happened that made you say, I'm going to go into this business?
Yeah, in 23, September of 23, Amazon canceled our contract. A
Mm-hmm.
typical shelf life of a DSP, delivery service partner in this country, is around 3 years. I exceeded that benchmark. I lasted for 4. And at that time, I went back to the whiteboard because I didn't have to get the job fast enough. Okay, I need a job within the next 2 weeks. I wanted to do the right thing. I went to the whiteboard. Hey, what are my paths? I'm essentially at the core, I'm a tech guy, I'm a technology guy. I deeply understand ins and out of technology, and AI is hot. Number one option was, hey, launch an AI startup, get some funding, make some money, and get an exit. And that didn't feel too exciting because I have done that type of work over and over. And then other path was going back to Amazon, Google's, and Microsoft's of the world and be a director or VP. And that path, I said, okay, I've done. Like, what's new in there? And what I found out about myself, I love dealing with people than dealing with spending my life on a laptop. So that was a piece I enjoyed my last mile leaders delivery service partner job, dealing with people, changing people's lives. On an average, one job changes 4 lives. And from that path, I said, okay, this is a very meaningful path. It's not going to make me overnight rich. It can pay the bills, and I'm going to enjoy the journey. I have over 10 years of career left. I want to live in a meaningful way. So that's how I came to the staffing or recruitment business. And when I narrowed down that path, so I said, okay, I want to study all the companies. I actually visited multiple headquarters. I won't name some of the competitors, and been to Oklahoma City, Knoxville, Tennessee. I traveled through the South, and I want to commit to a brand that's aligned, that's scalable, and it serves the best. And that's when I committed to Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, which is a part of bigger brand called Randstad. Randstad is a Dutch company. They are the world's biggest staffing company, and Spherion is their national brand here in the US. And this is where my journey started last year with Spherion.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you transitioned into something new, which is just right down your alley because there's no regrets. And so we want to learn a little bit more about how you're helping with that staffing. Tell us about what you do, how you're helping, who you look and get in contact with. Tell us all the things, Raj.
Yeah, at a high level, we help businesses with their workforce solutions, whether they need a temporary staffing or permanent solutions or direct hire, full-time hires. That's on the business side. We help our candidates, people in the community, find jobs, find careers. As I said earlier, one job affects 4 lives. So we are helping that, and as a part of it, we are part of the Greater Seattle community and helping the communities to grow and become better. And all those three areas we addressed are partners, candidates, and communities. And here, Seattle is a jet city. Before this was a Starbucks city, before it was Microsoft or Amazon cities, Seattle was a Boeing city. And in Jet City, we serve aerospace companies, and they're not just Boeing, but there are hundreds of Boeing partners who make different types of parts that actually end up on your 737s and 747s. We serve some of those clients. And it's also a tech city, and we focus on tech clients. And the tech is, even though going through a little bit slowdown at the moment, but this is essentially the modern DNA of Seattle. And then it comes the logistics and the shipping, people who ship goods. Seattle is also a gateway to the Asia. If you have to go to China or Japan, it's an easiest city. And a lot of goods come into the port of Seattle, and we focus on logistics sides of the business.
Okay, that's a good deal. Now, as we are going forth, you are helping, people in this Seattle area. Is it one of those things where your people go and work for that company forever, or are they still attached to you and you're doing temporary? Tell us a little bit about that placement.
Awesome. Thank you for asking that question. We have two sides of the business. One is the temporary employees. Those employees are our employees. They are our W-2 workers, and we place them at those sites on a temporary duration. It could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, and it could keep renewing based on their requirement. How it helps our clients is they are not able to commit for a full-time headcount. They don't know how the business is gonna look in next 6 months or so because of tariffs, because of market demand, and it helps them to build that. It's a stopgap solution. We can have the temporary workers and then reassess. And those workers are our full-time workers working at the client site as a temp employees. And some of our clients, they will have a temp to hire. They want to try before they buy.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, let me see if this worker is a good fit, if this worker is a good learner and grow with their changing needs. And so they'll test it out for 3 to 6 months and they'll convert into a full-time opportunity. So we have had a lot of conversion. So people, and it helps people, they get to test out the job and the client get to test out the employee. And that's one model, temporary. And the other one is the direct hire, where people know I am hiring a manager for supply chain, I'm hiring a director of HR, or I'm hiring a manager of, say, technology product management. They have that specific need, but they value their time more, and they outsource those type of activities to us. And they say, hey, go headhunt and find me this right person based on this criteria. When what we do, we find the right fit. We take all of the work end to end because finding people is not easy. Even though people think that they can do it, but when you start doing it, it's very exhausting. And when it's a part of your function, because your job is something else and you're trying to fill and expand the team, it's sometimes it's better to outsource to an agency that specializes in it. This is what we do for a living. We live and breathe this thing, and we can find the talent for that company.
That's a
And
good.
for example, I'm hiring a, say, supply chain manager,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a national search going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in a manufacturing industry. It's hard to find in Washington. We are going to Ohio, Indiana, and other states where manufacturing is so strong.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, how are you making the connections with both the company and on the headhunting side, making connections with that possible future employee? How are you making those connections to those companies and employees?
As a recruiter, the number one area is a fit, because we see it in a very objective way if this person is a good fit, employer side and employee side. And we don't want to get distracted by, okay, you know what, like this person is available, he needs a job, he can do the job, but is it going to work in the long term? Is the commute going to work for the long term? And in this market, sometimes, people are looking for talent, and sometimes because of the tech layoffs or so, talent in the market is really overqualified.
Mm-hmm.
And if we place an overqualified talent at a client site in next 3 months, what are they going to do? They're going to keep searching for the next job. And when that job, the perfect match happens, they're going to leave. It's not a good situation for anybody. So number one thing we focus on is in the fit, and of course the fit has different parameters in it, and we play into it. And our goal is to keep the employee happy for a long term and keep our clients happy for a very long term. So hey, we are happy as a business too.
Yes,
There are three
yes.
stakeholders in this, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to take care of your people so the people take care of the business, so the business take care of you. Sounds like a
Beautiful.
good.
You said it
Yes.
perfectly.
Yes, it seems like it's a great cycle in that form or fashion. I love what you have going on currently and how you're helping to make those connections between the businesses and the employees. What does the future of your business look like, Raj? I know you have a plan in your mind. What's the future of your business look like?
Future of our business is like what we have set up into place, is expanding it. If you look at Seattle's map, Seattle is a very vertical city. On the west side, we are constrained by Pacific Ocean. On the east side, we are with the Cascade Mountains. So this city goes very vertically, and where we opened our first office, it's very strategic location. We are right next to University of Washington, and where we have the talent supply. There's a neighborhood, beautiful neighborhood called University Village. That's where we are located. And that where we picked this location in a strategic way so we can serve the south and we can serve the north.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you some context, Boeing is headquartered in Everett, or the main plant of Boeing is in Everett, which is 20 miles north of our office. And some of our other partners into the logistics or so, they are located in Kent, Sumner, Auburn, Tacoma, which is 20 to 30 miles south of Seattle of our office. So we can serve both locations. We didn't open our office in the north end or south end. We are pretty central. And our goal is to open two more offices, one in the south side in Kent area, and followed by another office in Everett area in the north side. So we can serve everything in between. But this is our flagship location, and it'll be serving all the areas until then.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And
Of
thank you
course.
so much for sharing about your journey, some of the things that you've been through, talking about, the businesses that you own and have owned in the past and own now. I want to ask you if you can share with the audience some of those best practices that you have just ingrained into your businesses that have helped you to be successful. Maybe they can add to their mix and try to strive toward that same success.
Yeah, I would say whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or you're an employee, the one skill I will tell people to learn is project management. And project management doesn't mean you need to become a project manager, but look at some of those skills. They actually last for lifelong. My project management journey started over 20 years ago at Citibank. And so it has different components. It says task management. Hey, how do you manage the tasks? And the task, how do you prioritize the task? And I follow Stephen Covey's book. Stephen Covey wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. I read over 30 years ago, and that remains my best book ever. And in there, he has a 2 by 2 matrix. And on one side for the task, it's urgency, and then other one is importance. Hey, what you want to focus your energy on the most important and most urgent tasks. Every day there are going to be so much noise, but what you're looking for is signal.
Mhm.
Where is the signal? What do I need to focus on? At this time, if I look on my calendar, I might have 20 tasks, but I come, okay, what are the 2 or 3 I need to finish before I leave the office? So, as an entrepreneur, you will get distracted. You will be thrown into too much noise, and your goal is to find the signal, and some of the dust will settle down. So project management is great from the task management dependency perspective, and communicate with people. Over communicate. Over communication will never hurt you, but under communication will. And sometimes we keep on making all these stories in our head, and our mind takes us into the negative direction.
Mhm.
And so communicate with your team. And above all, take care of your physical health and mental health. Business is here, and the pressure will be here. Pressure is not going to go down. What you need to do, you need to build your own resilience by taking care of yourself, your physical and mental health. And for that, I do yoga 3 to 4 times a day, so I can come to work, take on all the challenges, and still smile.
Yes, yes, that's awesome advice. You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else. And make sure to have those priorities in order, so you can make sure you can get the right things taken care of before you move on to the next. I truly do appreciate you sharing those skills because those entrepreneurs out there are trying to figure out a way. And you are
Of
highly
course.
successful and you just gave them some great nuggets. So I truly do appreciate that. Now, we have talked so much about your journey, the business skills. I want to take a moment and talk about the man, Raj. Now, let's just say that you have gotten all of those companies taken care of, Boeing, IBM, and Starbucks, and all the ones that are up there. Time
Mhm.
and money is not an issue at all. What is it that Raj would do with his time?
Oh, if money or time is not a constraint, I would actually become a yoga teacher.
Okay. Okay.
I used to teach for this company called Core Power Yoga. I used to teach 2 classes a week, and those are actually best hours of my week.
Hmm.
But when I launched this business, my business needed full-time attention, and I ended up quitting my job.
Hmm.
And I got paid minimum wage, but that was the most satisfying job I ever had. And I would actually focus on that. And a couple of years ago, I went to Cabo and taught yoga at a resort. And for a week, it was very satisfying. So I would double down on that, travel around the world, practice more, teach more, spread the love.
Yes. Now, I know when you start your yoga, you get into a mindset and it puts you in a specific mental place. But if
Uh-huh.
there was a physical location that you could choose to practice yoga, what would be that ideal physical place that you would go to practice?
I would, if there's no constraint, I'll go to India. There's a area called Haridwar or Rishikesh. That's a very spiritual in sense. It's right next to on the banks of Ganges,
Hmm.
and that's where the yoga actually come from the Himalayas. And I would actually go spend more time there, take more retreats, and of course, they're like any sunny place with water. That's ideal.
Hmm.
And yeah, if I can have some more time, I would go there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that part. And as you're sharing, what if the entrepreneurs or the business owners have any additional questions about your business, your journey, about learning some more tips about staying mental with your yoga? What's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
They can reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. Find me Raj Bharti, RAJ, just as Romeo and Juliet. Bharti, Bharti. And they can also email me first name dot last name Raj Bharti at Spherion.com. Spherion is Spherion.com. Or they can come to Spherion.com/Seattle and find us. I'm all over, and I would love to help out people while they are working on their dreams. And hey, somebody has helped me, and I would love to pay it forward.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that information. And we truly do appreciate you coming on the show today. And we always honor our guests by giving them the last word. So, Raj, please look into the camera and tell the people something good.
Follow your dreams, folks. As I said, regret minimization framework. And when you are on that deathbed, you don't want to regret not doing something. So there's not much regret that comes by doing something. So please follow your dream.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those wise words. And we appreciate you coming on the show today.
Of course. Thank you so much, Roderick. Have a great day. Thank you for
Yes,
having me.
absolutely. And to everyone that is watching, be kind and thanks.